Hi everyone, it's Mindy with Mindy Egan Design, and today I'm coloring up Valentina Vampire from Kraftin Kimmie Stamps. I'm going to start out by stamping the image onto Nina Solar White cardstock using Memento Black Tuxedo ink using my Misty. I'm using this stamping tool because there are so many lines on this image that if I don't get a good impression the first time, I can stamp it again. I'm also going to be stamping the image onto some masking paper because I plan on masking this off and doing some ink blending. I have sped this video up quite a bit, but you can pause this at any time if you're looking to color along. I'm coloring this image with my Copic markers, and I decided I wanted to give my vampire a pale skin tone, so I'm going to be using my cool grays to color her. I start out with my lightest color to give the area a base coat. The skin is the only time that I'm going to do this. After that, I start coloring using my darkest color and going in where I think there will be shadows. My shadows may not always be right, but I like the end result. While I'm coloring, a couple things I wanted to talk about. First are these amazing images from Annie. They can be intimidating at first with all the detail. You can admit it, I totally thought so when I first started coloring these images. But after you take a good look at them and break it down into sections, it really isn't so bad. Kim has so many fabulous images from Annie, I'd hate for you to not take advantage. A trick I've picked up with coloring these images is follow the artist drawn lines. You don't have to be a professional at coloring to do these. Annie has honestly done a lot of the work for you. The hair and skin, I do have to sort of figure out where shadows will go, but for the most part, you'll be pretty safe putting your darkest color where those lines are. This may not apply to everything, but take a good look at the stamp when you're starting out, and after a while, you'll be able to start to see it. That's what I did for my vampire. You'll start to notice that most times my darkest coloring is going to be where those lines are. I always keep in mind, though, possible shadows. Now, the vampire, she's laying in a coffin, so where her body meets the cushioning, I'm going to apply my darkest color because that's where I think a shadow is going to be, or where it's going to be the darkest. Same with her hand placement and her arm. Her arm would cast a shadow down below, or down to whatever is below. I typically will color from darkest to lightest, and depending on what I'm coloring, I'll go over the area twice. Sometimes it just depends on how deep I want that shadow to look. This is my personal preference. You don't have to color it this way. That also goes for the type of cardstock that I use. I like the Nina cardstock. This is my personal preference. Some people like to use Express It. It is whatever you are comfortable with. I also like to color my hair by blending. Some people do really tiny flicks and it looks fabulous. I honestly have a hard time with it. I will start attempting the flicks, but when I come in with my second darkest color, if it's not looking like I want it to, then I blend. So for my hair, I was going for the blackish hair, and I'm going to be using a B41, which is a light blue for the highlight. I also come back in with a 100 to deepen those shadows. So here is where I was talking about earlier, where I still have to consider some shadows. I go around her whole body with my darkest color because that's how I see it. And then I also go right on top of those artist drawn lines as well. Then I'm going to work on blending everything out. I also forgot to mention that all the colors that I'm using will be listed in the video description below and also on my post on my blog, and they will be listed in the order from darkest to lightest. For the eyes, I'm going to come in with my R24 and just carefully make a small circle. Then I'm going to come in with my darker color, which is the R29, and just do a half circle on one half of the iris. Depending on the colors, I may try to blend again with that lighter color, but this gets tricky because that color can spread out more than I want it to. That completes the coloring for Valentina Vampire. I will have a link down below where you can purchase her from Kraftin Kimmie Stamps. And be sure to look around for more goodies that catch your eye. Check back on Fridays because Kim likes to run Frugal Fridays, which means that there will be certain select stamps on sale. It's a great way to stock up. I'm also kind of realizing you may have possibly heard a little background noise while I was doing this, and that's because the music maker in my son's room was going while I was recording and may have picked up on it. So if you heard it, I truly apologize. Thanks for joining me today. I hope this video has helped you out. Be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to keep up to date on more videos that'll be coming out soon. Thanks again and see you in the next video.